Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final regular season episode of the Area Stat Leaders with me, Big League Berardi, brought to you by Pinnacle Building Services. If your business needs cleaning, they will get the job done. Congratulations to the Mansfield Christian Lady Flames, heading to the Elite Eight for the first time ever. Our good old friend Jesse Ryder's got his squad playing in the regional championship coming up later on this week. Can't wait to watch them in there. Congratulations once again to the Lady Flames. But we have some business to take care of here, as it is the final regular season episode. We are having our regular season champions unveiled here in the Area Stat Leaders, our top 10 passing, rushing, and receiving leaders throughout the area. Fastest 10 weeks are over. Now we can unveil who are the champs in each category, and let's get right underway. And we'll start from the top this time, since we know who are the ones that get it done. So we'll start at the top and go through our top 10. But let's go right now. The area leaders, your champion, yes, you knew it was going to happen. He did it by, well, it was a little bit closer, because Nathan Bernhard showed out against Lexington. They came up short, but it is Mr. Braden DeVito that has the passing championship once again. 2,258 passing yards, 28 touchdowns on 139 completions, and he gets a nice break this week because Shelby is the number one overall seed, the number one team in Division 4, and his squad has the bye, and they will await a winner next week at Shelby. But congratulations, Mr. Braden DeVito is your passing champion once again for the Shelby Whippets, just holding off a late surge by Nathan Bernhard. Two D1 athletes right there going back head-to-head right there. Ashland as well. They actually, because of the loss, they will be playing in week number 11, so they'll be at home though. But Nathan Bernhard will be right back at it next week. Our number 3rd passer jumped back up into the mix this past week, and that is Chase Smith of the River Valley Vikings. 1,892 yards, 17 touchdowns. They weren't able to get it done, though, against Ontario this past week, but Chase Smith once again jumps into the top 3 to finish at number 3 in the passing leaders for 2025. Just behind him by literal yards, by 8 yards exactly, Tanner Miley of the Northmore Golden Knights. They just missed out on the postseason as well, but Miley, what a performance coming in. A.J. Bauer graduating last year after being the D6 Offensive Player of the Year, and Tanner Miley putting up very good yards this year for the Golden Knights. He'll be back next year. Maybe he can move up with DeVito and Bernhard gone, as well as Smith. Miley may be the favorite next year for passing championship. 1,884 yards, 18 touchdowns. Moving down to number 5, and a very solid campaign for Braden Parsons of West Holmes. 1,873 yards passing and 21 touchdowns. East Knox, it wasn't, I mean, it was a tough year for them. They had a good passing attack, though, and Jax Lester does finish in the passing leaders as the number 6 overall passing leader with 1,792 passing yards and 19 touchdowns for them. But Jax Lester, I mean, what a great senior season for him, finishing with 19 total touchdowns. Moving down, Galleon's Aiden Schmidt. They got the bye as well. It was a tie for 6th, I should say. Galleon and East Knox, Lester and Aiden Schmidt both with 1,792 passing yards. It says 6 and 7, but it's 6 and 6 right there. Cale Lewis didn't throw it a lot against Norwayne, so he drops down a little bit. Like I said last week, there was a big grouping between 3 and 7, and Cale Lewis will drop down all the way to number 8. 3 to 8, I should say. 1,731 passing yards, 19 total touchdowns for the Falcon. Jumping back in the final week is Crestview's Liam Kuhn. 1,693 passing yards and 15 touchdowns as Crestview, they just, as well, like Northmore, just missed out on the postseason. They get a 2-point conversion in this game you're seeing right now against Monroeville and get the win in overtime. They probably would be in the postseason, but still, a solid campaign for Mr. Kuhn at 1,693 yards. And we finish off with one of the big upsets in week number 10 is Seneca East rolled Mohawk to get themselves a home game in week number 11. Nicholas Parks, one of the reasons why. 1,649 yards on 103 completions and 17 touchdowns. So there are your passing final numbers for the regular season. Braden DeVito, once again, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Bernhard as well, as Bernie moving his way up to the number 2 overall spot in the area for passing. They throw it to somebody, though. Does Braden DeVito have a champion in Brady Bowman? Let's take a look at the receiving leaders, and did he do it? You bet he did. Brady Bowman is your receiving champion this season once again. I believe he did it last year too. We have back-to-back champs on both sides. 56 catches, over 1,000 yards receiving. He's the lone player to do so in North Central Ohio. 1,136 yards, 15 touchdowns for him. Brady Bowman is your champ over Parker Weithman, who jumped up this week to finish number 2. He got ahead of Connor Stockdale. 847 receiving yards on 43 catches, 8 touchdowns. They'll host Eastern in a first-round playoff matchup, and maybe then heading to Mount Gilead for a very intriguing matchup in that tough D6 Region 23. We talked about Connor Stockdale. He's going to finish as the third leading receiver in the area. 770 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns for him, as Connor Stockdale finishes off a solid season in the top 3 in the area. Finishing just behind him at number 4, that would be Paxton Flores of the Willard Flashes, 769, just 1 yard behind Connor Stockdale. He was in the top 3 a few times this season, but he finishes just behind him at number 4. 6 total touchdowns as well for him. Braxton Freilich finishes 5th in the area receiving leaders, 722 yards and 9 touchdowns, as Western Reserve will be playing in week number 10, and they're playing strong. They're healthy once again, so Freilich and company, watch out. They got a running back that's finished in the top 10 as well. We'll show you that here in a little bit. But Braxton Freilich, congratulations, finishing at number 5. Gabe Baith, the running back out of Ashland, finishes as a top receiver for Bernhard. 694 receiving yards, 46 catches, over 1,000 total yards for Baith, as Ashland, like I said, playing in week number 11. Josh Heilman of Upper Sandusky finishes just behind him, 681 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, one of the largest yards per catch as well, the 3rd largest in our stat leaders. Finishing in 8th, it was a rough schedule for Calvert, but Logan DeMoss still showing out. 39 catches, 674 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns for the Seneca, as he finishes at number 8. Finishing at number 9 is Levi Teal, but he's not done with the season yet, as Mohawk will be playing in week number 11. That tough loss to Seneca East cost them a bye, but they're still into the postseason, and they're still, I think, one of the favorites in that region to at least make a regional semi or a regional final. Finishes with 669 and 7. But sneaking into the top 10 to finish out the year, not 10, but he is 7. 7 Allen. 654 yards, 7 touchdowns. He showed out against Ashland. He also had a big pick 6 of Bernhard to give Lexington the OCC championship, a number 3 seed. And at Lexington, hey, they got themselves a bye. Look at them in D3 Region 10. The Lexington Minuteman. 7 Allen, welcome to the stat leaders as you made it in week number 10. Like I said, there could have been some guys that make it into the top 10 as we finish out the regular season, and 7 Allen just slipped right on in there. He was just behind them. Also, his quarterback just missed out on the top 10 passers, but Lexington, look out for them as well in Division 3. They have the bye. We're going to get to our rushing leaders. This was the big one because we had Denny, we had Barnum facing each other. Barnum was 49 yards behind Denny going into week 10. Could he catch him? Could he? We're going to show you after this break, brought to you by Pinnacle Building Services.
I didn't think our staff would even notice that we switched cleaning companies, but they did right away. They noticed that the office was cleaner, that things were bright, more vibrant, and that created a more positive working environment for us. There's always a potential to spread illness if our building isn't as clean as it possibly could be. Having Pinnacle in our building to make sure that it's as clean and safe and healthy as it can be helps us take the best care of our patients. It's family owned and operated, they're local, which means a lot to us.
Thank you once again, all season long, Pinnacle Building Services, for being the sponsor of these stat leaders. But guess what, folks? We're going to have 3 postseason episodes as well. We have so many teams in there. What it's going to be is it's going to be weekly. It's not going to be a total because of the buys and everything like that. In week 2, like Brady Bowman and DeVito won't be playing in week 1 like some of these other guys. So it's going to be week by week. We'll just give you the leaders throughout the first 3 weeks of the postseason, but we're not done thanks to Pinnacle Building Services. And we're not done tonight as well because we have the rushing champions coming your way right now. And guess what? Carson Barnum, over 230 rushing yards against Cardington Lincoln, overtakes Denny. Carson Barnum, with his defensive backs helping him out too, wins the rushing championship. Carson Barnum with over 1,800 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, 288 carries. The kid's a bowling ball, and he gets to breathe. He gets a break in week number 11 as Mount Gilead finishes as the 4 seed. They may see Connor McMichael and company at home in week number 12 if Crawford's able to get past Eastern. Wyatt Denny, though, got to shout him out. He finished at the top last year, finishes number 2 this year. 1,711 yards in his senior campaign, 277 carries, 16 touchdowns. Not too bad for the over 3,000, probably 4,000 yard rusher. Maybe even 5, I don't know, probably 5,000 yard rusher. I'd have to get with the Cardington folks to see what his actual numbers are. But Wyatt Denny, what a running back out of Cardington Lincoln, and what a career he had for the Pirates. One player that's still continuing his career is Owen Sloan, the number 1 overall seed. Tough, they were unable to win the WCAL championship, their first loss of the year against Norwayne, but Sloan still able to show out. 1,391 yards in the regular season, 19 touchdowns for him. Moving down to another KMAC running back. We had 3 KMAC running backs in the top 5. Miles Marshall probably could have got more yards, but his quarterback was also just outside the top 10 in Blaine Ball. So, I mean, that balanced attack allowed him to get some rest. And Senator is going to get rest as they get the number 1 overall seed in D6 Region 23, and they will get a break. So, Miles Marshall finishes as the number 4 overall rusher in the area and the number 3 overall rusher in the KMAC. That's how good of a running conference the KMAC is. Caden Bish will finish in the top 5 for Mohawk, but he ain't done as well. He ran in the 2-point conversion against Cary to lock up the conference, the playoff spot. They did fall to Seneca East with a chance at the conference title, but Caden Bish, 1,208 rushing yards, 19 touchdowns for him. Talking about the Northern 10, we just talked about Barnum possibly taking on this guy in Week 12. 2 running backs in the top 10 maybe facing off for a spot in the regional semifinal. What a game that would be down in Mount Gilead. So just take care of business, Colonel Crawford. We'd love to see that. 1,166 total yards, 16 touchdowns for Mr. Connor McMichael and the Colonel Crawford Eagles, who are in week number 11. Brody Bowman, not Brady Bowman, Brody Bowman of West Holmes will finish with 1,120 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns for the Knights. And welcome Western Reserve into the postseason as Landon Wiggle breaks the 1,000-yard mark, 158 carries, 24 touchdowns. He's the touchdown champion in the area for running backs this season. But watch out. Like I said, Western Reserve's healthy. They came on late. They got the postseason berth, and we'll see what they can do in week number 11. Another new addition. We had Sevin Allen as a receiver for the first time, and welcome one of the best names as well as a running back. Dash Puckett has broken into the top 10 to end the regular season. 1,065 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns as Cary shocked the world against Crawford to give them at least a share of the championship. They lost to Mohawk, but still get the share of the Northern 10, and they as well get a chance to play in week number 11. Carey baby is back after a tough non-conference schedule, only one loss in the Northern 10, and they'll look to move on as they play on Friday night. And rounding out the top 10, Judah Keller and the number 1 seed in Margaretta will finish in the top 10, 1,027 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns for him. So there you have it. There are your regular season champions, your final top 10 through 10 weeks of the regular season. Now it's time for the 6-week sprint to Canton and the Hall of Fame Stadium for the state championships the first weekend of December. Like I said, this is not the end of the stat leaders for this year. This is the champions for the regular season. I will give you 3 updates for the first 3 weeks of the playoffs, where we'll reset each week too. So we'll have the top 10 for week 1 of the playoffs, week 2 of the playoffs, and week 3. So individual week leaders as well as we get on there. But that will do it for me. We're just getting started, folks. I mean, we're through the fastest 10 weeks. Now it's time for the best part, the postseason. We got a ton of action coming your way starting Friday night on the OH Report. But for now, I got volleyball tomorrow. Stay tuned for that and much, much more as we move on this week. Let's go, Lady Flames. Congratulations.